What is your favorite hobby and why? Guitar. Scent resale value. It impresses potential love interests. It lets you earn a sense of accomplishment rather than a simple dopamine hit. And it builds up your non-dominant hands' strength and dexterity. Imagining I do something sounds like a joke. But really, I love to work a project all the way through in my head. Doing the work is optional for my enjoyment. I love to picture each step and plan for all the pitfalls. For example, I am in the process of designing a foamy camper foam composite shell. I love this kind of thing so much that I often find myself working the problem to fall asleep. That works for me, weird I know, and can easily be called lazy. But it's something I like to do. Edit typos. Fish keeping, while really expensive at times, it's really satisfying to just watch your fish swim around the little ecosystem you created for them. Some fish actually have really great personalities, like Oscars and other cichlids. They are just water dogs. Collecting, I collect Caillou, Transformers, and Jurassic Park figures also puts a dent in the wallet. Magic the Gathering, I just started this one. I play a pre-made white-blue spirit deck mostly. Karate. I train in Shorin Kanoan Karate. Photography. I like taking little trips to places to take photos of birds and airplanes. Then I go home and edit them, and then share the photos with no one else. I took some awesome photos of the Coast Guard while they were training once and sent them over, and they never even responded to me. And I'm telling ya, they were cool as fuck. Two dudes dangling from a helicopter. Depth of field visible, and blur from the exhaust with mountains in the background, all taken at sunset time as well. This thread just made me feel better about my hobbies being running, cycling, sidewalk chalk art, listening to music, reading, taekwondo, and playing video games. My wife is like, you need a hobby. I guess some folks don't see active exercise as a hobby, or video games and reading, but I don't really have a desire to do many other things. Some are too expensive and others I'm just meh about. I have considered borrowing the wife's nice camera and trying to learn photography though. Identifying insects and spiders. I like to have contact with nature, and the world of insects is something that surrounds us all. You could have hundreds of different species pass through your yard home over the course of a year. I don't know too much about the scientific side of things yet, their biology, behavior, etc. I just upload them to the Naturalist app, marvel in their beauty, and try to help them out of the way if I see them somewhere they don't want to be. I would have to say cooking, eating new things. Specifically with my wife, there isn't really anything else that gives me the joy trying a new food. I love cooking something new, but also love trying something new that I ordered from a restaurant. I will try anything food related once. For example, I ordered hokkel just because I heard it was one of the worst tasting foods in the world, so I needed to try it for myself. It was quite bad, but don't regret it at all. Watching movies or shows. As a kid, I never had many friends and I didn't have television with cable at my home. Streaming services didn't exist in those days, so I used to watch the DVDs available at my home. My father used to bring one to per month, each had 5-6 films, and I would just constantly watch them on repeat. Gradually, media consumption became a source of escape, and I started loving the fictional world building and have never stopped since. Mountain Dew collecting. I've always had a fascination with things that are limited edition, and one day decided to expand a tiny collection of Mountain Dew cans I had. I now have gone through 4 different shelves, traveled internationally, and have created a collection of Dew that is tiny to some and monstrous to others. I can't really say why it's my favorite thing to do other than there's just something about it that I love with all my heart. Since things opened up again after the shutdowns, I made a conscious effort to support the venue's bars that managed to survive, that had only played as a child teen to being able to shoot ambidextrous or one-handed when needed, and have gotten to the point where I can be the people that have taught me everything I know. Making jewelry. I love working with design, color and texture. It's soothing and meditative while also allowing me to be creative and feel challenge. I give away most of what I make, and that in and of itself brings me joy. Tied for favorite is photography. It gets me outside and gets me outside of my head. I look at the world in pictures and focus on details I might otherwise overlook. Sharing photos makes me happy. Cooking BBQ brings people together. I show my love through food. Nothing like smoking meat low and slow and learning how to maintain a fire temp. Outsiders love to ask questions. I love to answer them. If you can do it right, it's worth sharing and watching people's reaction when they first taste a rib the way it's supposed to be cooked, not how chain restaurants cook it. It's priceless. I collect dice. I have a little over 3,000 now after about 10 years of collecting. I build model kits, almost exclusively Gundam kits, and some Zodes. I have a fair number of Lego as well. I like shiny Metharox, also good for distracting me during boring meetings. The models are because I like building things. I always have, that I never got into woodworking or making. Thirding, it's collecting without the clutter. Hunt. You generally have a good idea on what you are going to see and find. But every once in a while when you get that rare bird or finally track down a chase bird or new lifer, it's an incredible high. Plus every time you travel you get the opportunity to see new to you and a different variety of birds. I've been writing stories my whole life. But after my dad died in 2020, I got sober and really entrenched myself in my hobbies. Writing has always been at the top of the list. I entered a series of short story contests and, much to my surprise, actually won a few of them. I've since published a collection of short stories and am working on a novel. Coin collecting. I inherited it from my father and uncle. It involves finance, metallurgy, history, government, geography, a ton of stuff. I don't buy a lot so it's not too expensive. I get to keep the coins and some of them increase in value. They're often beautiful and intricate. They have a heft to them. I can pass them down to my nephew. Building custom furniture for my house. Every piece is like working a wonderful puzzle of design, joinery, and finishing challenges. With each one, I gain experience and develop skills that I can apply to the next thing I build. I have a house full of beautiful, useful, unique things that will last and be handed down for generations. Riding my bike, I'd say cycling. But that sounds too serious for what I do. I hadn't ridden a bike in 30 years. But I got a hybrid bike during the pandemic. It gets me outside, provides me with a fun way to exercise. It also provides me with a chance to spend time with my friend once a week when we meet up to ride together. My favorite hobby, definitely the ancient art of blanket burritoing. There's just something so satisfying about wrapping myself up like a cozy taco and hibernating in a nest of blankets. Plus, it's the perfect excuse to avoid adulting for a little while longer. Who needs responsibilities when you can be snug as a bug in a rug? Community card games, trading card games. I like tabletop games, and I like the community aspects that some card games can make symbiotically growing a community. With the product, card stores make great third spaces in my regard, and giving people a reason to come together in a shared interest and experience is great. Customizing anime figures. I work with Nendoroid parts, and it's helped me a lot to develop my fine motor skills. I have unsteady hand-eye coordination, but painting and sewing have made a huge improvement. I even started a side business selling doll clothes, so I earn back the money I spend on materials and tools. Astrophotography. It's a challenging hobby managing as many variables as possible, all in the pursuit of capturing photons from space for pretty pictures. But damn, the community is fantastic and it's damn fulfilling producing an acceptable image of a deep space object from our tiny home here on Earth. Cubing. Once you figure out how to solve a basic Rubik's Cube 3x3 without hell, it's quite addictive trying to get your times down. Exploring different cubes 4x4, 5x5, etc. is also a fun challenge. For the people who say it's too hard, it's not. It appears hard, but it's not really too bad. Foraging. I bring home endless free food and useful products. It's the world's easiest treasure hunt. I always find as much treasure as I can carry. My fridge is full of food. My cabinets are full of jars of herbs, But more importantly, the woods all around me is full of food all year. Collecting feathers. I have a huge collection from over the years, including eagles, osprey, goose, parrots, cardinals, hummingbirds, and much more. I display them in different size vases, which enables me to admire their beauty every day. Reading, hiking, playing, walking with my dog, playing guitar. I've loved music for a long time and got into it through software, but playing a physical instrument is like nothing else. It's just me and this brilliantly simple piece of technology that's been around for hundreds of years, and I can do so much with it. Surf fishing, the sound of the ocean waves crashing, the smell of the saltwater, and the thrill of the unknown when your line goes tight and the rod bends and you hook a keeper, halibut or a nice rock. Mostly for me, it's just about being there, vibing with nature. Jiu-jitsu. It's physical and mental exercise. For some people, it's even a form of therapy, because you're trusting your training partners not to break your limbs or put you to sleep. I feel you form a deeper camaraderie compared to other martial arts sports. Sudoku and its variations. It's portable, I can work on it at my leisure, and I can pick the level of challenge based on my mood. The sense of accomplishment I feel when I complete a new level variation that I've been stuck on is a top 10 best feeling. Got to say, both music and art and video games. But lately I've been a slump, really, creatively, trying to figure out how to get that spark back. Sorry if that was down, I didn't start it that way. Love to all y'all from FL though.